In Jang Ryan's room, she excitedly clenched her fists. Of course, what could possibly go wrong for me? Forgive me for doing things my own way. Now I understand why Guangwei, the bodyguard, didn't want me to learn martial arts. I always try to do well, but it always seems to lead to trouble. I just thought I could help you, bodyguard. I always receive help from you, and I wanted to show you that I could be of assistance too. I'm so stupid, aren't I? Is the Pung family targeting us? Guangwei remained calm from start to finish. Hearing her ask this question made him flinch. Did Myeonho tell you this? Jang Ryan shook her head. No, Myeonho only mentioned that Zhuang was attacking us. But I realized something strange was happening at the Pung family when I heard that someone was taking Guangwei out to meet me. Guangwei, if you gave up everything, wouldn't it be more comfortable? Whatever they want, just give it to them and ask them to spare us, okay? Guangwei looked puzzled. Why does the young lady think that way? Jang Ryan explained, since last year, there hasn't been a single day of peace. We've always had to fight against Zhuang. I was terrified, thinking I had escaped from that hell, but before long, a greater enemy appeared. This time it's the Pung family. They're one of the 5 great families of Zhongguan. They are an opponent we cannot face, nor dare to confront. Guangwei, you should leave too. Being with the Zhang family will put you in danger. Not just you, but everyone will be at risk. You understand better than anyone how powerful the Pung family is, right? The Zhang family no longer has the strength to fight. No matter how you think about it, we can't deal with the Pung family. I'm so scared, truly terrified. Guangwei stared at her intently. Do you think that if you give up everything, you can live in peace? All the land of the Zhang family will belong to the Pung family. All the glory that the Zhang family has achieved will be trampled upon. The servants and maid-servants will be sold into brothels, and you and the elders, the leaders, will become servants. Life will be imprisoned here. Can you endure that kind of life? Jang Ryan was terrified. Is it really that bad? Guangwei's face grew serious. It will be like that, because that is the rule of this world. Freedom paid for with blood will have to be paid for with lasting shame if not. The two of them were silent, looking at each other for a moment. Finally, Guangwei spoke again. I will help the young lady. Jang Ryan was startled. Bodyguard? Guangwei asked, did you ask before what I did in the martial arts world? I had to kill people to protect someone, to protect something. Jang Ryan's face was full of confusion. Huh? Guangwei looked at her seriously. Just like now, I will protect you. Protect the Zhang family. Meanwhile, Pung In-ho was extremely angry, banging the table and deep in thought. Those beggars are working with that martial arts bodyguard. He really is from Beggar. At that moment, a servant's voice came from outside. Elder, the beggar clan leader is here. Pung In-ho was startled. Who did you just say is coming? The person confirmed again, it's the beggar clan leader. Nung Si-jeol was quickly invited in. Pung In-ho greeted him warmly. It's been a long time since we've met, hasn't it been a few years? Nung Si-jeol pondered. Let's see, thinking back, we've never actually met, have we? Pung In-ho chuckled. It's been so long I can't quite remember, but why did you come to the Pung family to find me? Nung Si-jeol asked. According to you, why am I here? Pung In-ho shook his head. I don't know. Nung Si-jeol waved his hand. Then take a guess. Seeing Pung In-ho deep in thought, Nung Si-jeol asked again. Even someone as profound as you can't figure it out? Pung In-ho shook his head. I have no idea. Nung Si-jeol was surprised. That's strange. Pung In-ho wondered if the leader had come to scold him. Nung Si-jeol smiled. Why would you think that? Pung In-ho explained, because you came here so late at night and didn't tell me why. Nung Si-jeol frowned. I suppose if the elder says so, it might make sense, of course, if the elder truly doesn't know anything. Pung In-ho's brow furrowed. How could I possibly know everything? So why don't you just tell me what I don't know? Nung Si-jeol smiled. I didn't mean to, but as I looked into the Pung family, I stumbled upon some intriguing things. The deeper I dug, the more fascinated I became. Pung In-ho's expression darkened. That's what beggars usually do. But isn't investigating the 9 clans or 5 great families against the righteous path? Nung Si-jeol asked with interest. So if I disregard the righteous path, can I investigate wherever I please? Pung In-ho laughed heartily. Ha. Have you found anything then? Nung Si-jeol replied with a serious face. Of course I have. Pung In-ho sighed. So what are you planning to do? Force me to go with you or something. You know, if you forcibly take me without any evidence, the ones at a disadvantage won't be us. Even if it's Beggars territory. Nung Si-jeol stared at him for a moment before bursting into a hearty laugh. Haha. The elder really is a tough one to handle, Pung In-ho replied calmly. That's just how I am. Nung Si-jeol stood up. Actually, seeing the elder looking so distressed by my visit, I feel compelled to leave a message. If you want to live long, you'd better withdraw from this matter quickly. Pung In-ho furrowed his brow, staring at him. That martial arts bodyguard of yours has quite the history, making the leader come directly to warn me like this. Nung Si-jeol didn't answer but smiled and turned to leave. Just as he took a few steps away, Pung In-ho spoke up to stop him. Oh, this leader. I don't feel burdened at all by Beggars' investigation. Why? Because it's the biggest information hub in the world, Nung Si-jeol asked. What are you trying to say? Pung In-ho asked back. You must know who's backing me, right? Nung Si-jeol frowned and turned back. If you're asking that, then I'll ask in return. Do you know who's backing me? Switching scenes to the wooden house near Pung family. Guanghui came back and Nung Si-jeol went out to greet him. You're back, how is Miss Zhang? Guanghui nodded. She managed to walk a bit this morning. Nung Si-jeol exhaled. What a relief. Guanghui asked in confusion. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Nung Si-jeol smiled. You're talking about Dok Son, right? Dok Son is an old man who has retired from the martial world, so I didn't think it was necessary to inform you. Guanghui frowned, standing there staring at him. Nung Si-jeol sighed. All right, to be honest, at that time you looked quite anxious, and considering the situation, you might arrive late or not be able to treat her in time, so I thought you'd be very distressed and blame yourself if you found Dok Son but couldn't save her. And if your subordinates were there, someone would surely recognize him. If this caused you any discomfort, please forgive me. Guanghui smiled. Thank you, leader. Nung Si-jeol smiled contentedly. The two then sat down at the tea table to chat, and I managed to dig up some information. First, the two factions associated with the Pung family. When Shijiazhuang was still around, there was Hua Wall, whose master, Bai Yian, had once stepped in to help, and now they, along with Qian-o, are secretly backing the Pung family. Guanghui wondered, how come it's such a mix of right and wrong? Nung Si-jeol nodded. Yes, that's correct, but that's not the problem. The real issue is that the factions connected to those two are Gui and Juk Sa. Previously, Qian Yung Dan had dealt with Gui, but now they've returned and their power has grown even stronger. As for Juk Sa, it's the center of their power. Recently, it has become one of the three strongest dark factions, and it's confirmed that these two places are linked to Hua Wall and Qian-o. Guanghui frowned. So they're using Hua Wall and Qian-o as tentacles they can discard at any moment. Nung Si-jeol continued. Exactly, the five great families of the righteous path aligning with the dark factions means that the Pung family is obviously a target for the righteous martial arts world. Therefore, they used different methods, pulling and manipulating the balance between right and wrong. Pung In-ho is truly a cunning old fox. Guanghui asked. Is there anything else? Nung Si-jeol explained. He's very interested in Watercloud Mountain. I'll provide more information once the investigation is complete. What do you think we should do about this? Guanghui interrupted. First, I have something to say. The Zhang family is severely lacking in experts. If we just sit idly by, we'll be wiped out by them. Nung Si-jeol frowned. Are you suggesting we need to recruit enough experts to fight the Pung family? Actually, to take on the Pung family, we need a prestigious family or a major sect. That's a good point. If we're determined to fight them, we need to have prestige. But how can we achieve that prestige? Guanghui instructed. There's a place called Island Dorm about 50 miles from the Zhang family. Find a man who lives in the back rooms and bring him to the main hall tomorrow morning. Nung Si-jeol asked. Who is this person? The mysterious Guanghui replied. You'll know once you meet the leader. I need to head out now. I can't be away for too long. With that, he left the wooden house, leaving Nung Si-jeol to sip tea alone. Nung Si-jeol chuckled. The leader was already making his move. The Grand Elder of the Pung family, I know you're up to something. You must have other plans that I'm not aware of. But do you really think there's no one with an extraordinary mind in this vast Zhongguan? There is. It's the man who has quietly reshaped the entire martial world. Soon, nightfall came, and Guanghui was now in Zhang Wenti's room at the Pung family residence. He slowly explained everything to him. Zhang Wenti pondered after Guanghui finished speaking. Surely the Beggars clan leader wouldn't lie about this. Water Cloud Mountain, huh? No wonder before this all went down. The Grand Elder of the Pung family asked about Water Cloud Mountain. If Guanghui's bodyguard handed it over, would they spare my clan? Guanghui frowned but didn't answer. Zhang Wenti sighed. I know it's unlikely they just let us off the hook. The Pung family dragging the martial world and evil sects into Water Cloud Mountain must hide some earth-shattering secret. They probably want to protect and conceal something. Thus, they'll remove any obstacles at any cost, like a great storm sweeping away everything in its path. According to Guanghui, do we have any chance at all? I know it's ridiculous to expect anything in this situation, it's just me. Guanghui interrupted. 12 years ago, the martial world established an army tasked with wiping out all the tyrants in Zhongguan and the powerful leaders of the evil sects, also known as the Great Evil Star. At that time, masters from everywhere gathered. After several rounds of scrutiny by the elders, the 9 great sects selected some experts, and the sect leaders sent these experts to join that army. That army was the Qianying Dan. Zhang Wenti was horrified. Could it be that you are? Guanghui shouted. The Qianying Dan's goal wasn't just to kill the Great Evil Star but also to prevent the colossal force behind them that intends to swallow the martial world. The Qianying Dan was split into 2 smaller legions. The Makbu Brigade openly stood against the evil sects, thus becoming their targets, so they were also known as the Target Squad. The Huku Brigade handled the elimination of those emerging from the shadows, hence the name Assassin Squad. Zhang Wenti was agitated. So if that's the case, then who exactly is Guanghui the Protector? Guanghui stopped hiding and said, My name is Yu Jiojin. I am one of the 2 survivors of the Huku clan and the 17th leader of Qianying Dan. Zhang Wenti was so shocked he couldn't even describe it, just staring blankly at him. Guanghui continued, This will be a difficult journey, and there will surely be times when you feel exhausted and want to give up. But I can promise the head of the family one thing. Even though I can't stop all the enemies, they will never be able to stop me. If the Zhang family doesn't give up, then I won't give up on the Zhang family. I will be the vanguard, and we will fight together. The next day at the Pung family's training ground, the guests, along with Pung and Ho, were startled as soon as they arrived. Because the father and son of the Zhang family had already been there early, watching the training. Pung and Ho approached and asked, How are you feeling, sir? Zhang Wenti shook his head. I'm fine. Pung and Ho looked worried. Thank you for coming, but don't overexert yourself. If you get seriously injured because of the Pung family's issues, everyone will blame me. Zhang Wenti shook his head. This isn't too much for me yet. And even if it was too much, I still have to come and clarify one thing. Pung and Ho asked, puzzled, What do you want to ask? Zhang Wenti said sternly, Why is the Hebei Pung family directing its hostility towards the Zhang family? Pung and Ho was so taken aback by his directness that his eyes widened in shock. Even Sung Ryong, who stood behind, was astonished and couldn't believe his ears. The surrounding guests muttered among themselves, Is the Pung family targeting the Zhang family? Isn't the real culprit Shijiazhuang? Pung and Ho composed himself and questioned Zhang Wenti, What do you mean by saying the Pung family is targeting the Zhang family? What's that about? Zhang Wenti explained, The people that the elder called the remnants of Shijiazhuang are not their people but the Pung families. Pung and Ho couldn't help but burst into laughter, ha. It seems like the host is misunderstanding something. Clearly, they are from Shijiazhuang, and the martial artists of the Zhang family have seen and confirmed it. Zhang Wenti said with a serious face, Of course, it must be said that way, that's how we prove that you did nothing. Pung and Ho frowned and said, I get it now, I'll listen carefully to why you think that. Zhang Wenti started asking, Do you remember giving me the Shijiazhuang land documents before they infiltrated? Do you remember requesting an exchange of Shijiazhuang's land with Watercloud Mountain? Pung and Ho nodded, Of course, I remember. It's unfortunate that I have to return those important documents without any conditions, so I thought I should get something in return, and my request was Watercloud Mountain. Zhang Wenti continued, That's right, then I was attacked, and those documents disappeared. How did they know I was holding those papers and came to take them? Before being attacked, I quickly hid them. How could they skillfully find and take them? Saying this, he took out a human skin mask and threw it on the ground. Moreover, they all used human skin masks. Pung and Ho explained, of course, they would use them. I heard that many Shijiazhuang subordinates had to flee due to the Zhang family's surprise attack. Some became bandits and stayed in the new land, while those who wanted to settle old scores disguised themselves, so it's only natural. Guanghui, who was standing to the side, spoke up, "You're mistaken, they didn't use human skin masks to hide their identity. They used them to disguise themselves as Shijiazhuang people. What does this mean?" Hearing this, everyone fell into deep thought. Zhang Wenti continued, "At first, I thought someone was disguising themselves as Shijiazhuang to kill me. But thinking it over, they didn't actually intend to kill me. On closer examination, I found an answer. Because if I survive, I can prove that all these actions were Shijiazhuang's doing, which would be even more advantageous." Pung and Ho sighed and said, "Upon reconsidering everything, Zhang family's master makes sense, but from a conventional perspective, if Shijiazhuang's intruders caused our martial artists to die, why would our family kill our own martial artists?" Hearing this, Nam Gung Bek and the others nodded in agreement, saying it makes sense. Pung family had no reason to do that. Just then, another voice came from below, "Elder, let me answer that." It was Nung Si Jiol, and following him was Bek Hio. Pung and Ho was startled upon seeing him and felt extremely uneasy. The other stood up to greet Nung Si Jiol, saying, "It's the beggar clan leader." "Why is the clan leader here?" Nung Si Jiol waved and smiled, saying, "It's nice to meet you all. I'll greet you properly later. I need to address a few issues now." Pung and Ho looked at him curiously and asked, "What are you going to answer?" Nung Si Jiol quickly explained, the Pung family was targeting Water Cloud Mountain, so they warned the Zhang family to get it. Since they couldn't persuade them, they chose to eliminate them instead. Unfortunately, you can't kill everyone, which is why things ended up like this. Pung and Ho, agitated, asked, "What's so special about Water Cloud Mountain that we need to go to such extremes?" Nung Si Jiol waved his hand, saying, "I'm still investigating, but I'm sure there's something. Haven't you noticed how worked up you've become just hearing about it?" The guests around Pung and Ho spoke up. "Let's assume what the boss says is true. What about the damage to the Pung family?" So Wigan was clearly seen at the Pung family's place. Yes, Pung family's warriors reported seeing So Wigan. Are they lying? Nung Si Jiol sneered coldly and then waved his hand to signal the person behind him. Bek Hio immediately gave orders to enter. Nung Si Jiol smiled. "I knew you'd ask this question, so I brought him here." So Wigan quickly hobbled in with his cane. "Hello everyone." The Pung family's guards saw So Wigan and immediately drew their swords, rushing forward to stop him. Nung Si Jiol waved them back. "Everyone, calm down." The people on the stage shouted loudly, "The boss is a notorious villain from the dark sect. He dares to appear at the Hebei Pung family's banquet. This cannot be tolerated." Nung Si Jiol shouted back, "Please make way. Indeed, we cannot tolerate the dark sect, but there is something very important you must hear from him." "But boss," Nung Si Jiol gave him a sidelong glance and smiled, "isn't it a bit much to be scared just because he said a few words?" The middle-aged man was at a loss for words. "Why are you?" Nung Si Jiol raised his voice again. "If we use our overwhelming numbers to kill him, how are we any different from those shameless people who don't know what face-saving means? Bullying the weak with numbers makes us no different from those dark sect scoundrels. Even beggars like us on the streets understand the concept of dignity. We've never thought of killing those who stand in our way." Everyone fell silent. No one said anything more. Nung Si Jiol glanced at So Wigan and said loudly, "If he causes trouble, the beggar clan boss will take full responsibility. Is everyone okay with that?" "Alright, now let's hear what you've been up to during this time." Everyone's eyes were fixed on So Wigan. So Wigan quickly explained that for the past month, he had been living in the back room of some no-name inn. "Before that, I took money from Shijiazhuang to join the fight against the Zhang family, but then I lost interest and decided to leave immediately. However, just as I was about to leave, martial artists appeared and attacked me in the forest. Specifically, the 5 top disciples of the Pung family. By sheer luck, I managed to keep my life." The crowd looked puzzled. "So where's the proof of Pung family's involvement?" So Wigan glanced at them with a cold sneer. My martial arts aren't much worse than those of the top 100 masters. Do you think you can handle me without using your sect's or family's secret techniques? Sword techniques aren't something you can easily hide. Even though I was ambushed, failure is failure. I've caused my share of bad deeds, so I can't recklessly seek revenge. Especially when those attacking me are from the Hebei Pung family, but just sitting idly by while these guys cause me trouble and then blame me. That's beyond outrageous. The middle-aged man from the Chung Seong sect asked sternly, "So Wigan, answer me this. How did you manage to escape from the 5 top disciples of the Pung family?" So Wigan smiled. "After I broke through their encirclement, they thought I was definitely going to die, so they didn't pursue me." Why did they think I was going to die? Why would I have to cut off my own leg? It's because their swords were coated with poison. The crowd was startled. Poison? The Pung family used poison? Deadly poison? Pung In Ho's face darkened to an extreme degree. After a moment, he suddenly burst out laughing. "Haha, very reasonable, Chief, so this is why Zhang family is involved. I was kind enough to hand over Shijia Zhuang's property papers to you, and yet you doubt me. People are so unpredictable. How could I have guessed that doing a good deed would lead to trouble?" Zhang Wenti wanted to say something, but Pung In Ho loudly cut him off. And why the sudden appearance of this heretical sect member? Whether the Pung family kills him or not, what does Water Cloud Mountain have to do with this? Nung Si Jiol smiled. "Of course, it's related. The young master of Shijia Zhuang, Sok Damyang, talked about this with him. That guy said Shijia Zhuang targeted the Zhang family because of Water Cloud Mountain." The guests were once again shocked. Shijia Zhuang is targeting Water Cloud Mountain? What exactly is Water Cloud Mountain? It's hard to believe Water Cloud Mountain is involved in all this killing. The guests were once again rocked to their core. Shijia Zhuang is targeting Water Cloud Mountain? What on earth is Water Cloud Mountain? It's hard to believe that Water Cloud Mountain is involved in this killing spree. Pung In Ho pondered for a moment and then asked again, as the gang leader mentioned, "It seems Water Cloud Mountain has some sort of treasure. What could this treasure be?" The Pung family is also very curious. Let's go see what's up at Water Cloud Mountain. Let's use our eyes directly to verify, but gang leader, you must understand this. No matter what's on that mountain, it's got nothing to do with the Pung family. You can't let the words of some shady cult make you lose faith in one of the 5 great righteous families. The Pung family must receive an apology for this insult. The banquet ends here. Pung In Ho had just returned to the study when Pung Ga-un approached and asked, "What's on Water Cloud Mountain?" Pung In Ho asked back, "What do you think is there, young master?" Pung Ga-un was fuming. "Elder, I'm not joking around." Pung In Ho nodded. "I understand." Pung Ga-un continued, "This is a situation where the Pung family is under suspicion. If the suspect is the Pung family, there should be a reason, right?" Pung In Ho shook his head. "No matter what the reason is, we will never accept it." Pung Ga-un roared, "Elder, whether they misunderstand or not, we are at fault this time. The intruders into the Pung family were not from Shijia Zhuang. If you deliberately deny this, the elder will be suspected of honesty. If not, it means the elder lacks capability." Pung In Ho turned his head and glared. Could it be that the young master also believes that shady cultist? Pung Ga-un was still extremely angry. Whether you believe it or not, the Pung family's martial artists clearly saw So Wigan, but that wasn't true, and we've lost face because of it. I didn't come here to blame the elder, but I need to hear something from you. What exactly is at Water Cloud Mountain? Pung In Ho smiled. "Indeed, I have no reason to deceive the young master. To be honest, there's nothing special at Water Cloud Mountain." Pung Ga-un shouted, "Elder." Pung In Ho remained calm and smiling. "Really, there's nothing special. Anyone who looks at it will see just that." Pung Ga-un frowned. "Anyone who looks will see that, huh?" Pung In Ho continued, "That's exactly it. Others won't see anything special, but in my eyes, I see something special in a place that seems ordinary. It's limestone and salt rock, also known as rock salt." Pung Ga-un asked skeptically, "Limestone and rock salt?" Pung In Ho explained, "Limestone is common in nearby mountains, but rock salt is quite rare. Moreover, limestone is widely used, while making good quality items from rock salt requires certain skills." Pung Ga-un asked, "Please elaborate, elder." Pung In Ho sighed. "Salt rock is useless without a skilled artisan. With one, it could turn into a terrifying object. Because it's a crucial ingredient for making a special bomb. Pung Ga-un was astonished. A special bomb? Pung and Ho nodded. Yes indeed. Pung Ga-un was confused. Is the elder mistaken? Special bombs are made from rock, charcoal, and sulfur, so what does salt rock have to do with it? Pung and Ho explained that special bomb is different from the regular special bomb. With 20 times the power, that's a whole different story. Pung Ga-un stared in shock, eyes wide open. Switching scenes to another side, Guanghui, after hearing Nung Si-jeol's words, was startled. Are you saying it's a dynamite stick? Nung Si-jeol nodded. Yes, it's dynamite, but of low quality, so it can't be used as salt. Guanghui kept replaying the thought in his head. Why does it have to be dynamite? It's an order to blow it up. I guessed right. The materials used are probably similar to that. With that thought, he jumped up. Nung Si-jeol, puzzled, asked, "What's wrong with you?" Guanghui, excitedly shouting, "It's Pak Gung. The materials to make Pak Gung are at Watercloud Mountain." Nung Si-jeol was stunned. Pak Gung? Could it be that? Guanghui, not having time for explanations, urgently asked, "Where is she?" Nung Si-jeol, remind me, are you heading to Watercloud Mountain? There are Pung family martial artists guarding it, so not just anyone can get in. Guanghui snapped, not that place, I mean, where is Bai Yian's group leader? If we investigate her, we can figure out what's at Watercloud Mountain. Nung Si-jeol was taken aback. Follow me, I'll find out right away. Switching scenes to Hanwal Dorm, a frequent spot for martial artists. The sect leader asked, until when are you going to leave everything to Bai Yian's group leader? This incident has ruined our sect's reputation, yet you still trust her? The old man chuckled, and it seemed like everyone had been quite dissatisfied recently. From my perspective, even though she didn't achieve results, we can't exactly blame her. The two others shouted in anger, "Master, how could you be like this?" The old man just kept laughing. Let's put aside the matter of Bai Yian for now. Isn't today our Hua Wall sect's grand banquet? At that very moment, there was a commotion from the side. A martial artist threw a jug of wine and angrily shouted, "I've had bad luck since I walked in. I asked for water, not wine." Seeing someone suddenly enter the crowd, everyone was startled. Who are you? The newcomer ignored them and walked straight up to Bai Yian. Are you Bai Yian, the leader of the group? Bai Yian asked back, who are you? Guanghui looked at her seriously. I'm a guard from the Zhang family. Hearing this, Bai Yian was shocked and stood up. So you're the one obstructing our work? Guanghui frowned. Obstructing? Well, from your side, I suppose you could call it that. I've come to ask you just one thing. What exactly is at Watercloud Mountain? Bai Yian furrowed her brow and stared at him in tension, remaining silent. The rest of the crowd had now surrounded Guanghui, but he ignored their shouts and continued staring at Bai Yian, waiting for an answer. Bai Yian asked suspiciously, "Do you even know where you are to dare come here?" Guanghui casually replied, "I do know." Bai Yian pressed on, "Then do you know the situation you're in?" Guanghui took off his helmet and said, "You've misunderstood me. I'm not here to negotiate if you can't speak. Then I'll just have to kill all of you." The old leader of Hua Wall couldn't help but laugh heartily. Haha. Is it because the situation is so chaotic? I didn't expect a big shot would come to this place. Guanghui frowned and glanced at him. The old man, seeing him look over, grinned mockingly. Are you scared? Then kneel and beg for mercy. It's getting a bit tense in here, isn't it? Just as he was about to head out, Guanghui whipped out Gumado. With everyone's eyes wide in terror, Gumado sped like a gust of wind right in front of the old man's face. The old man's eyes widened in fear as he stared at the giant blade stuck right in front of him. Guanghui gave him a cold glance and said, "Did I say you could leave?" The old man, enraged, turned around and barked orders for everyone to kill him. The crowd, hearing this, surged forward, brandishing their blades. Guanghui didn't draw his sword, he just deftly dodged their attacks. As he dodged, he threw punches that sent them crashing backward. Every time they charged at him, Guanghui's punches sent them flying in the opposite direction. Guanghui didn't even bother with martial arts, he relied solely on his speed and agility to fight. A few young men tried to exploit his brief openings, swinging their blades to finish him off. But Guanghui reacted with lightning speed, evading their strikes effortlessly. Two of the young men, swords clashing, were stunned in shock. Before they could react, Guanghui had landed right on top of them. The remaining people were left gaping, mouths agape. After a moment, he spun around in midair. The two young men were kicked away one by one, sent sprawling through the air. Then, he flipped around and charged towards the old man. He grabbed Gumado tightly in his hand. Then he swung the blade behind him. The remaining lackeys who were rushing in were immediately thrown around by Gumado as if they were being tossed like rag dolls. In no time, the hall fell silent, with most of the crowd knocked out cold on the floor by Guanghui. Bai Yian watched everything in horror, realizing that what he saw wasn't even a special technique. Guanghui was just dodging, blocking, and swinging his sword, but how could it be so effective? The big guy with a bald head stood aside and roared, "What a bunch of useless fools. Get out of the way quickly. I heard you defeated So Wigan, let me see what you're really capable of." The big guy swung his blade with tremendous force, but Guanghui didn't even flinch. He merely sidestepped to avoid the attack. The big guy then leapt into the air, swinging his blade as he pursued. Guanghui watched his movements and analyzed. A long step with the foot. A 3-foot weapon strike. The opponent's gaze was directed downwards from the shoulder. Here it comes. He timed it perfectly. Just as the opponent's long blade struck, Guanghui swung his arm to draw out the cursed sword and block it. He then used his strength to push and pull the opponent, completely leading the big guy around. Before the big guy even realized what was happening, Guanghui struck him directly in the stomach with the end of his gumado. The young man was sent flying, frothing at the mouth and crashing far away with a single hit. After dealing with everything, Guanghui turned his attention back to Bai Yian. Bai Yian was horrified when he looked at her again. Guanghui, indifferent, slowly approached her. The bodyguards next to Bai Yian, seeing him coming, had no choice but to draw their blades and charge. Guanghui barely moved his sword. The long blade in their hands was sliced cleanly in half. The other guy was so stunned he froze in place, his jaw on the floor. Guanghui approached Bai Yian, waving his hand and negotiating, "Let's talk it out and resolve this." Guanghui smirked, "You made the right choice." As soon as Bai Yian sat at the table, she started with thanks. "First of all, I must thank you." Guanghui asked, puzzled, "Thank me for what?" Bai Yian replied, "For your effort to avoid killing, right?" Guanghui turned his head and glanced at the people on the ground. "I just haven't killed them yet." Bai Yian shifted the topic. "Do you want to know what's in Watercloud Mountain?" "I'm sorry, but I can't tell you." Guanghui frowned at her. Bai Yian, scared, quickly explained, "I'm not trying to mess with you. I want you to know, otherwise, everyone here will die by your hands, but if I reveal it, not only will everyone here be at risk, but even my family will be implicated, so, I had to choose the lesser evil. I've heard about your exploits with the Pung family, and today I've witnessed your martial arts firsthand. However, the Pung family is one of the 5 great clans, and their power is far greater than you might imagine. For instance, our Moonlight sect is considered a major force in the martial world, yet we wouldn't dare to claim equality with them, so I can't disclose too much to you." Guanghui replied nonchalantly, "I didn't expect you to tell me, as I already anticipated it. There are indeed materials for crafting pak gung there, aren't there?" Bai Yian was taken aback upon hearing this. Seeing her reaction, Guanghui stood up. "So, I was right." When Bai Yian saw him preparing to leave, she spoke up to stop him. "Wait a moment. I don't know how you found out about this, but do you realize how dangerous this situation is? They are enemies you can't afford to confront, not just the Pung family." Guanghui asked indifferently, "Are you implying that the Martial Arts Alliance is behind this?" Bai Yian went silent at this. Guanghui didn't waste any more words and turned to leave. Bai Yian finally couldn't hold back and warned him, "You won't last a month, not even a few days. If you had given up Watercloud Mountain, things wouldn't have escalated so far. Everyone will perish because of your pointless curiosity." Guanghui's steps halted. He then turned to look at her. "You're mistaken. You need to understand them. Let me ask you something. If you don't fight, can you survive? If we surrender without a fight, will the more than 300 lives of the Zhang family be spared?" "Bai Yian, you know that everyone will die, right? No matter what you say, the Zhang family has been through this meaningless war for 7 years now. This is a battle we are very familiar with." Having said that, he turned and left with a look of astonishment from the onlookers. Scene shifts back to the Jang family. Sung Ryong walked to the front of Jang Won-Ti's room and loudly declared, "Master, it's Moke here." As Sung Ryong entered Jang Won-Ti, he immediately said, "I have something to discuss with the great hero. I'm sure you've seen it at the Pung family. What I mean is that the Jang family will have to face the Pung family now. The current situation is very dangerous, so staying at my house is also a difficult choice. You've helped us a lot, so no matter what, no one in our family has any objections, but you should leave. From now on, the intensity of the war will increase significantly, and we have decided to fight for the family's interests. If there's nothing at Watercloud Mountain, we will take responsibility. It seems like there is some misunderstanding. I didn't come to see the head of the family to say goodbye. Doesn't Jang Won-Ti seem full of doubt? Then why did you come here?" Sung Ryong looked serious. "I will try my best to fight. Besides, I am partly responsible for what just happened. I fell into the Pung family's trap, so I couldn't help the Jang family." Jang Won-Ti became even more confused. "What do you mean by that?" Sung Ryong sighed. "Failing to protect the head of the family and causing Miss Jang Ryan to be seriously injured is entirely my fault. A few months ago, my life was saved by a grandmaster in Shijiazhuang. Before he passed away, I promised him that I would definitely protect this place. I will protect the Jang family until the war is completely over. I have a request for the head of the family." Jang Won-Ti nodded. "Please speak. If it's something I can do, I will certainly do it." Sung Ryong looked at him seriously. "Please allow me to marry Miss Jang Ryan." Jang Won-Ti was momentarily stunned when he heard those words. Sung Ryong bowed his head and explained, "After going through this, I've come to understand my feelings for Miss Jang Ryan. Please, head of the family, entrust Miss Jang Ryan to me." Jang Won-Ti lowered his head in deep thought. He is a man with no flaws, no weaknesses, not even lustful tendencies. A hero women can rely on. But marriage is more than just that. He is a righteous and faithful man, yet. After thinking for a moment, he said, "This is the first time I've told this story to an outsider. Jang Ryan's mother was a talented woman with a knack for business and great leadership skills. She always strived to be a wonderful mistress of the Jang family. Jang Ryan is very much like her mother." Sung Ryong nodded. "Yes, I understand." Jang Won-Ti sighed. "Don't laugh at what I'm about to say. Jang Ryan's mother had so many things she wanted to do, so many places she wanted to go, but she chose to stay with me and build our family when her talents were at their peak. In my memories, her radiant smile still lingers. Now, I also hope that Jang Ryan keeps a bright smile like her mother. I hope Jang Ryan's fiancé will be someone who shares a deep connection with her. Only then will I not feel ashamed before my wife." Sung Ryong waved his hand and nodded. "I understand, I've been too hasty." Jang Won-Ti sighed. "I just wanted to say that, it's a pity I can't fulfill the hero's request, but I want Jang Ryan to decide for herself." After a moment of waiting for Sung Ryong to leave, Jang Won-Ti sighed again. "Jang Ryan is truly blessed. I wonder if Guangwei the bodyguard is as loyal as Moke." The scene shifts to the Pung family. Guangwei just left the inn and headed straight here. He stood in the forest, looking at the mansion in front of him, pondering for a moment. Then, he leapt up, using lightness skills to run towards it. Inside the Pung family's training room, sharp swords and knives were hung all over the walls. Pung O-Lin stood in the middle of the blades, feeling their presence. After a moment, he suddenly raised both hands. Then, he channeled his inner strength to control the tips of the swords, and soon the swords and knives around him began to move. After a moment, he finally couldn't hold it any longer, withdrew his hands, and sighed. Where's the problem? Is it in controlling the flow of qi? Just then, Peng Ga-un walked in from outside. "Senior brother, it's me." Seeing the pile of weapons beside Peng O-Lin, he was startled. "Have you reached the realm of controlling qi now?" Peng O-Lin frowned and glanced at him without answering. Peng Ga-un continued to praise, "It's truly amazing. Now not only the Peng family but all of Zhongguan has no one who can match senior brother." Peng O-Lin turned around and snorted coldly. "Ask what you want to ask, say what you want to say, then leave." Peng Ga-un asked, "Have you heard the rumors?" Peng O-Lin looked puzzled. "What rumors?" Peng Ga-un sighed. "The rumors that the entire Peng family couldn't stand up to one man. Both Iron Tiger and Tiger Army were defeated by one man. I also want to know if the rumors are true." What plan does the Great Elder have? Pung O-lin shook his head. I don't know. Pung Ga-un continued to ask, is it true they plan to use a special bomb to swallow Jungwon? Do you think you'll become the head of the family with that achievement? Pung O-lin angrily turned his head and shouted, I told you I don't know. Now that you've said your piece, get out. Pung Ga-un sighed, don't you think you're being too harsh on me? Well, it's true that our relationship can only be like this. Fine, since you're hiding it, I'll just have to find out on my own. Keep it hidden well, because if I find out, blood will flow like rivers. The scene shifts to the Pung family's martial arts field. Pung O-lin hurriedly ran over to find Pung In-ho. Great Elder, are you here? Pung In-ho turned around and glanced at him. So you've come, young master. Pung O-lin rushed over and questioned, why did you tell him about that? Pung In-ho sighed, sorry, he kept insisting, I couldn't keep refusing him. Pung O-lin shouted in anger, what exactly did you tell him? Pung In-ho explained, I told him that at Watercloud Mountain, there's limestone and salt, which can be used to make a special bomb. But don't worry, young master, just knowing that much won't allow him to do anything. The young master also needs to know some things to make the work smoother. Pung O-lin questioned, smoother, how? Pung In-ho turned and glanced at him. Young master, you are one of the most intelligent people in the Pung family. Hiding things is not a good solution. No matter what, he will find out. If he acts in a way we didn't anticipate, it could ruin everything, so letting him know makes it easier for us to control the situation. Pung O-lin suddenly awakened, so he revealed a little bit to make it easier to control him, right? Pung In-ho nodded, of course, he doesn't trust us, but as long as he acts within our control, everything will go smoothly. Pung O-lin reminded, be cautious in your actions, you and I are already on the same boat. Pung In-ho nodded, of course. Just at that moment, the main door of the martial arena was pushed open. Guanghui boldly and slowly stepped inside. When the two Pung In-ho saw him, their faces were full of confusion. The martial artists below rushed out to stop him. Guanghui spoke to the two Pung In-ho, I have something to say. Incidentally, there are a few familiar faces here, so it will be easier to talk. Pung In-ho chuckled, haha, how did you manage to get in here after all? Guanghui sneered, with Shijiazhuang heavily guarded and full of traps, if I could get in, what significance does this place have? The martial artists around began to shout loudly, how dare you barge into Pung family's martial training ground without permission, do you have a death wish? Guanghui turned his head to look at the henchmen around him. Then he raised his head and said, I never thought of such a thing. Pung O-lin, standing above, frowned and stared at him. After a moment, Guanghui asked, have you ever heard of Pak Gung? The two of them immediately changed their expressions upon hearing that. Guanghui saw their reactions and sighed. I thought you would laugh again? Seems like I guessed wrong. A martial artist couldn't hold back any longer and immediately rushed forward with a punch. How dare you come in here, you arrogant fool. Guanghui completely ignored him and continued walking calmly. When the opponent got close, he simply shifted his foot slightly. The young man was immediately kicked, flipping over and falling flat on his back. Seeing their comrade defeated, a few others immediately charged forward. Guanghui didn't take them seriously at all. He calmly moved forward, dodging left and right, kicking each one down. Another one took advantage of his distraction and swung a punch towards his face. Guanghui spun around, raised his hand, and blocked it. As soon as the young man collided with Guanghui's fist, he couldn't withstand it. His body was like a kite with a broken string, being knocked backward. The remaining people didn't dare to recklessly charge forward anymore, they just surrounded him cautiously. Suddenly, Guanghui sensed something and turned around to glance behind. There were a few martial artists with weapons standing there, staring at him. Guanghui observed them and asked, are all of you instructors? This scene feels so familiar. The looks in your eyes are also very familiar. The ghostly sword at his waist was quickly drawn. No need to say anything else, right? The group didn't say much either and quickly lunged at him. Guanghui raised his sword and blocked one of them. Immediately after, another one attacked from above. He quickly dodged and avoided the opponent's strike. The opponents took turns attacking in perfect coordination. Guanghui quickly fell into a disadvantage, being forced back. They didn't give him much time to catch his breath and immediately charged again. Guanghui frowned as he observed them, thinking he should deal with the sword wielder first. Once he had made up his mind, he swiftly dodged the attacks of the two in front of him. He then charged straight toward the two sword wielders behind them. The two of them immediately raised their swords together to block his attack. At that moment, something unexpected happened to Guanghui. Three unarmed figures suddenly appeared behind him, attacking. The three then joined forces to attack Guanghui once more. Guanghui turned his body to evade the attack. A terrifying aura instantly spread from them, centering around Guanghui. Rocks and dust were scattered by the move, making it impossible to see clearly. Pung and Ho sighed from the platform. It's over, we'll have to send his body back to the Zhang family. Pung O-Lin shook his head, it's not over yet. The dust gradually settled. Before their astonished eyes, Guanghui's figure still stood proudly, unharmed. This is really frustrating. Pung and Ho muttered in disbelief. How is this even possible? Guanghui slowly took down the gumado from his back, raising it before him with a cold smile. Let's try that again. At that moment, Peng Ga-un suddenly rushed in from outside, shouting, "What are you all doing? Why are you here?" Guanghui calmly replied, "Because I have something to say." Peng Ga-un was puzzled. Something to say? What is it? Peng and Ho yelled from the platform. This man barged in here without Peng family's permission, and with murderous intent. Guanghui coldly retorted, "They attacked first, I merely defended myself." Peng Ga-un was enraged. "What? Did you attack first? I'm asking, did you attack first? What are you all doing? Attacking one person with a group, since when did Peng family warriors become so dishonorable?" Peng and Ho argued loudly. "Eldest young master, don't twist the facts. He intruded into Peng family grounds during the warriors' training. Spying or breaking into a restricted area is highly disrespectful. Punishing those who break the code of conduct is not dishonorable." Peng Ga-un frowned and glanced at Guanghui. "Is that true?" Guanghui turned and looked at him. "Do you really not know anything?" Peng Ga-un angrily responded, "What do you mean, I don't know anything?" Guanghui once again donned his straw hat. "If you know but pretend not to, it's unfortunate, but if you truly don't know, then as the young master of the Peng family, you're incompetent." Peng Ga-un gritted his teeth. "What are you trying to say?" Guanghui ignored him and turned to look at Peng and Ho and Pung O-Lin. "Will you let me go, or should I reveal everything I know right here?" Peng and Ho frowned and thought, he must die here. At that moment, Pung O-Lin behind him instructed, "Let him go." Peng and Ho was startled. "What did you say, young master?" "If we let him go," Pung O-Lin interrupted, "everything is still within the plan. Letting him go now will benefit the Peng family." Before leaving, Guanghui shouted to the crowd, "I just want to say one thing, and I want all you warriors to listen closely. I can't stop all of you. But none of you can stop me either." After speaking, he boldly turned around and left. The scene shifts to the Zhang family. "Oh miss, let us handle this. You should go rest." "No, the doctor said I need to move around more." Zhang Ryan, with nothing to do, went outside to compete with the servants in washing clothes. After hanging the clothes, she let out a breath. The weather really is cold now. Just then, Myung-ho came from outside. "Miss, I'm here." Seeing him, Zhang Ryan got excited. "Master, I wasn't in my right mind these past days, so I couldn't thank the doctor. Where is he? I'm feeling much better now and want to formally thank him." Myung-ho waved his hand. "Haha, there's no need for that, he doesn't expect any repayment." Zhang Ryan was doubtful. "How can that be?" Myung-ho's face turned serious. "It's true. Someone once tried to thank him before, and it made him very angry because he felt it questioned his medical ethics. For that reason, in front of the old mistress, don't mention feeling better just yet." Zhang Ryan was puzzled. "But I really have been feeling better for days." Myung-ho explained, "You might not know, but the poison still lingers in your body. Even though you're better, you can't let your guard down. You need to monitor your progress for at least 6 months. Hearing this, Zhang Ryan smiled slyly. 6 months? "Master, you have another motive, don't you? I heard I was poisoned with a deadly toxin, and it was only because of the doctor that I kept my life and didn't lose this arm. You want to keep him here, don't you?" Myung-ho sighed. "He's known as the best in the world when it comes to poisons. If he stays here, it would be a great benefit to the Zhang family, that's what I meant." Zhang Ryan smiled and interrupted. "Haha, I get it. You want me to pretend to be sick in front of him, right?" After speaking, she immediately pretended to be in pain. "Ah, I'm so dizzy, I'm about to faint." After a moment, she got serious again and asked, "But where is my martial arts bodyguard? I haven't seen him for days." Myung-ho responded, "He had some business to attend to, but he'll be back soon. Oh, by the way, there's something you need to check on personally." Jang Ryan asked doubtfully, "What is it?" Myung-ho's face grew serious. "First, could you step outside?" Outside the main gate of the Jang family, the sound of arguing echoed. "Move aside, don't block the way. If the martial artists of the Nine Dragons Escort Agency leave, what will become of us? Won't we all die? There has to be another way, right?" Jang Ryan ran over and was shocked to see the martial artists of the Nine Dragons Escort Agency preparing to leave. She rushed to Wang Ju-il and asked, "Elder Wang, what's going on? Why is the Nine Dragons Escort Agency doing this?" Wang Ju-il sighed, "Miss, this morning the head escort chief came by." Jang Ryan was puzzled. Song Sukbu, the head escort chief? But the war with Shijiazhuang isn't over yet. Their remnants are still out there. Wang Ju-il explained. "It seems the rumors of conflict with the Pung family have spread." After hearing the news, the head escort chief came here to withdraw his men immediately. Upon hearing this, Jang Ryan lowered her head, deep in thought. After a moment, she hurried off to find Jang Wang. "Brother, is it true what I've heard?" Jang Wang nodded. "I know why you're here. It's likely as you suspect." Jang Ryan was alarmed. "You know how important the Nine Dragons Escort Agency's forces are to us. If they leave, the Jang family will be in great danger. Brother, you must stop them. No matter what excuse you use, you must keep them here for at least a few months." Jang Wang sighed. "Yes, that would be ideal. But the remnants of Shijiazhuang have all been killed." Jang Ryan was startled. "What? How can that be?" Jang Wang took out a list. The head escort chief himself confirmed it. The bodies were thoroughly examined. "So, we have no choice but to honor our agreement." Jang Ryan hung her head in sadness, not knowing what to do. Jang Wang continued, "They acted swiftly. The rumors of our conflict with the Pung family prompted them to mobilize quickly, or they wouldn't have moved so fast. I know you're disappointed, but they can't help us any further. We never expected too much from them in the first place, but we still have another force." Jang Ryan was surprised. "What?" Jang Wang explained, "The beggar chief will surely help us." Jang Ryan was confused. "The beggars helping us? Why would they do that?" Jang Wang smiled because Guangwei was the guardian. Jang Ryan pointed at herself in surprise. "The martial artist protector of mine?" Jang Wang stood up. "Yes. They have arrived." Very quickly, a group of beggars arrived outside. "Is anyone here? Is the second son here? Nice to meet you. Hee, a pleasure." Jang Wang explained to the old men. "These are the elders of the beggar sect. Do you think they are enough to replace the Nine Dragons Escort Bureau?" Jang Ryan stood there, stunned. Does that even need to be compared? Not only enough but more than enough. The scene shifts to another side. Guangwei was walking through a pile of ruins in the forest. Before coming here, he had asked the beggar chief to investigate the whereabouts of Master Il Quan's disciples because he knew that some of them had also become Pabuul. If he could find them, it would surely be of great help to the Jang family. After Nung Si Jeol returned with the information, Guangwei was even more surprised. Most of Master Il Quan's close disciples had become Pabuul, and fortunately, a few of them were currently in Hebei. He recalled Nung Si Jeol's instructions before leaving. "Go to Gunlo village, Mount Myoam. You will see the mountain after passing through the village." As you know, they too have violated the precepts like Master Il Quan, yet they strive to uphold righteousness on their own. However, they differ slightly from the Master. Master Il Quan values benefits and status, whereas they act based on righteousness. Clearly, these Pabuul do not live in peace. Many seek them out, so their whereabouts are often very secretive. Guangwei reached the mountain's peak and clasped his hands, shouting loudly, "I have come to seek help. I've heard that with the appropriate status, one can receive help. I come as someone entrusted by Master Il Quan." As soon as he finished speaking, his eyes narrowed. Suddenly, an attack was launched from below. He jumped up to avoid it, startled. Is that chi energy? Seeing clearly who had attacked him, Guangwei recognized the opponent's identity, Buddhist bright blood monk Bangon. Hot-tempered like ice, hates evil so much that he personally steps onto the path of eliminating thieves. Immediately after, countless knife energies slashed toward him. Guanghui calmly performed his eerie movement technique, jumping up to evade. The person who had just attacked him was a monk wielding two short knives. At a glance, he recognized the opponent as Buddhist evil anger monk Bang Yun, one of the few masters who use short knives in the Shaolin sect, walking the Buddhist path to bury his blood-stained hands. Then, another person appeared in the sky, attacking him, this time with shadows of countless staffs. But it did not pose any difficulty for Guanghui. None of the opponent's attacks could touch him. The final person to strike was a muscular monk wielding a staff, known as Buddhist fear monk Bang Qian, referred to as the master of wind techniques, the one among the three who is closest in power to Il Quan. The three then joined forces to attack Guanghui once more. Guanghui, seeing the formidable aura of the person approaching, furrowed his brows. Too late. He didn't have time to dodge and quickly drew Gumado from his back. The great sword blocked in front of him to resist the direct assault from the three. After a moment, Guanghui was forced back by their combined strength. The three were surprised to see that he could block their attack. Guanghui stood behind Gumado, seriously staring at them. The previous generation's 18 arhats of Shaolin had no choice, there's no other way but to control them all. The group didn't immediately charge at each other but stood there, staring for a while. The monks exchanged glances. Guanghui drew out the ghost sword and called out to them, "Come here." Upon hearing that, the three didn't hesitate and immediately charged at him. The three of them each took a different direction, attacking Guanghui from above, left, and right. The first strike aimed for Guanghui's head, but he easily dodged it. It may sound simple, but to the monk, Guanghui's movement had reached a supernatural level, leaving afterimages in its wake. Immediately after, another one attacked from the side, aiming a palm strike at Guanghui's flank. Guanghui turned his body to evade the attack. As he dodged the two of them, the last one seized the opportunity to swing his sword down. However, his attack couldn't pose a challenge to Guanghui. Guanghui simply weaved left and right, up and down, effortlessly avoiding everything. Then he spun and flew far away, escaping their encirclement. The three didn't give him a moment to catch his breath, continuing their combined assault. Guanghui leapt into the air, avoiding their attacks. Bangan reacted extremely quickly, and just as Guanghui moved behind them, he immediately turned and swung his staff to block. Guanghui had no choice but to draw his sword to defend. After a brief clash, Bangan was soon overpowered by Guanghui. At that moment, the other two rushed in from behind. Guanghui didn't linger and quickly jumped back to avoid them, but the monks pursued relentlessly. As soon as Guanghui landed, he raised his gumado and slashed. The pursuers were startled at the sight. They immediately halted, combining their strength to withstand the overwhelming sword aura in front of them. Guanghui stood there, staring at them with a stern face. "We've tried enough. So now, I'll end this." The three monks simultaneously switched their weapons to long staffs. Guanghui sighed as he watched them spin and twirl in front of him like they were performing a circus act. No matter what you do, it won't take much time. Ignoring him, the three spun their staffs for a moment, then charged forward. Guanghui sheathed his ghost sword, picking it up instead, as he didn't want to hurt them and chose to attack with the scabbard. As soon as they reached him, he used his incredible speed to duck under their strikes. He then swung his scabbard, striking each of them in the stomach. They were immediately sent flying into the air, crying out in pain. The three of them, despite joining forces, were being beaten down, which enraged them. Guanghui had no intention of attacking further and stood still, glancing at them. "Let's end it here." The three ignored him, gathering their inner strength for one final push. Guanghui shouted loudly, "Didn't you hear me say to stop?" They paid no attention, thrusting their staffs forward again. Guanghui shouted again, "Il Quan is dead." The three of them stopped their staffs right in front of Guanghui. Their eyes widened in disbelief. Moments later, they sat together by a fire, talking. How could the Grand Master have died? "Can we really trust your words?" Bang Qian, who appeared to be older, shouted, "Stop being unreasonable. Wait until the younger brothers keep quiet before asking Guanghui, 'How did you know to come here?'" Guanghui replied nonchalantly, "The Beggar sect leader told me." Bang Qian was startled. The beggar sect leader? Are you talking about Nung Si Jiol? Guanghui nodded. Yes, he's the one who told me. Bang Yun and Bang Gon stood up angrily again and shouted, Brother, do you believe him? He could be lying, we should tie him up to make him tell the truth. Bang Qian snapped. Sit down everyone. What is so important about Water Cloud Mountain that they are so obsessed? Bang Qian asked. Guanghui continued, it's the special bomb. Bang Yun shouted again, you're talking about the special bomb? It's impossible to listen to this. Brother, do you really intend to keep listening to him? Bang Qian remained extremely calm. I've heard your words clearly, but one thing has been overlooked. Il Quan, the Grand Master, is not someone who can be easily taken down by a special bomb. Guanghui sneered, if it were a regular special bomb, maybe. The bomb that killed the Grand Master was an improved special bomb. We call it Pak Gung. Bang Qian was terrified. Can you provide proof? If there is a place where it can be proven, then take us there. If it is true, we will definitely help you even if it means sacrificing our lives. Guanghui took off his hat and stood up. There's no need to go far. He then slowly began to remove his clothes. Soon, his body, covered in wounds, appeared before everyone. Bang Yun snorted coldly. Do you think this proves anything? Then he was interrupted by Bang Qian. Bang Yun looked at that. The three of them simultaneously focused on the tattoo on Guanghui's hand. They couldn't help but stand up abruptly. Qian Yung Dan. Wasn't Qian Yung Dan supposed to be dead with only the leader of the martial world left? At this moment, Nung Si Jiol approached from another side. They should be informed. The three were startled when they saw him, the sect leader. Nung Si Jiol came in front of them and pointed to Guanghui, saying, let me introduce you. This is the 17th Brigade leader, also the final brigade leader of Qian Yung Dan.